Let's talk Villa, and I do apologise for the lack of videos recently. As you can tell by my voice, I have been ill. What a way to get ill just before the start of the season. But the season is here. It's Aston Villa versus West Ham in 2 days' time as I record this video. So we're going to be previewing the game, looking at how we could line up going into this fixture and looking at West Ham as well. So looking at the overall scope and then predicting what I think the results will be. This season we are going to be doing match previews, reviews, covering any news in between, tier lists, you name it, anything Aston Villa related, we will be covering it on this channel. So be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what do you think about our game with West Ham on the opening day of the season. It is away, West Ham look really strong. How will we fare? Leave your comments down below. I want to hear your predicted results as well as how you feel the game will run overall. I.e., were we going to lose? Are we going to lose badly? Are we going to win? Are we going to dominate? Or is it going to be a fluky one? Let me know. I reply to everything and I look forward to speaking to my Villa fam down in the comments. But without further ado, let's look at how Aston Villa might line up against West Ham. First things first, we look at how our lineup might be, and I'll flash it up on the screen there. Obviously, Emi Martinez in goal. I don't think anyone would dispute that. The world's number 23 lining up in between the sticks for us. Luca Digne plays at left back. I'm not sure that Maatsen is 100% match fit and ready for this game, so for that reason I think Digne fills in there. I don't think Moreno's good enough anymore. Centre backs, we've gone for Pau Torres and Ezri Konsa, our strongest centre back pairing by a country mile. And then at right back it is Matty Cash, just getting the nod over Costa Nedeljkovic purely due to Premier League experience, and West Ham is going to be a really tough game. Moving into the midfield, we have gone with Jacob Ramsey on the left to allow John McGinn to operate on the right-hand side of the midfield. A tough decision because I'd like to see Morgan Rogers play at that left mid role. I'd also like to see Jadon Philogene come in at some point, and I think he will because our bench actually looks alright now given this starting lineup. I think that's probably the strongest lineup that we can go with, and those two players can operate as those attacking midfielders, leaving Tielemans and Onana as our 2 pivots. I think that's the absolute best pivot combination that we've got going. And then we have Ollie Watkins. I know there's been some talk around him being injured. He is in training, he looks fine, and he will obviously start. He's our best player in the whole team, I think, by some way. And then Morgan Rogers has been playing up front a lot for Villa in pre-season, so I think he gets the nod there. And there were some big omissions from my team. As you can see on the screen, this is actually the depth that Villa are running with at the moment. This is a whole second XI, and I think a lot of these players will be on the bench. And let me explain my decision making around some of these players. Obviously Emi Buendia and Leon Bailey. There's also Jadon Philogene who can fill in on the wings. West Ham are going to be incredibly tough to break down, and I think we really need some defensive resoundness in this game, and I think that Ramsey and McGinn offer a little bit more than perhaps the likes of Buendia and Bailey, but I could see Bailey coming on to stretch the game a little bit later on. We have to be smart with how we rotate our players now with this massive squad that we do have, and I think that Bailey needs to be managed coming into the season because he's going to be so vital for us. Ross Barkley and Enzo Valencia obviously could fill in at any point in this game in those pivot roles. We've got John Duran, our new number 9, after he was throwing up the West Ham cross on his Instagram live. Don't know how he's managed to flick that one, but he has. And Cameron Archer, who apparently is going out on loan. Don't see the sort of reasoning behind that, but fine. Who are attacking options on the bench. And then look at that whole back line. Costa and Ian Maatsen have been very good in pre-season. Like I say, Maatsen, I don't think he's just quite up to speed yet. Diego Carlos, no idea what's going on with him. And then Lamar Bagard had a fantastic pre-season as well. So that's the depth that we could have going into this game. It's scary, but like I say, position for position, there's a reason I've picked this team, and that is to kind of counteract how good I think West Ham are going to be, and to add a little bit more defensive resolution to the team before we can maybe push on in the second half of the game. Why do I think that we need to be very wary of West Ham? Well, let's bring up their transfer marked here, and we're going to look at the signings that they've made this summer transfer window. Max Kilman, a very good signing from Wolves, a very good centre-back. They've got Somerville from Leeds, one of the premier attacking players in the Championship last season. We saw how Morgan Rogers transitioned so effortlessly into the Premier League. He will come in on the left wing. It's going to be a hard one for Matty Cash to deal with. They've got Fulkerg, who is a very physical presence. Now, this is what worries me. This is why I think Onana is going to be very vital in this game, and that's because Fulkerg in the air, we saw it in the Euros, is formidable. So we're going to have to we're going to have to neutralise that threat. And the fact that Aston Villa's back line are not very good in the air is somewhat of a worry. They've also got Gahilmi. I don't think he'll be playing. He's 18 years of age. I think he's going to be more of a bench player. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to really shore up their defence. That's why I was kind of umming and ahhing whether we put Morgan Rogers on the left-hand side, because I think he'd have a lot of success against the likes of a Wan-Bissaka, but Jacob Ramsey can do that job just as well. Rodriguez from Real Betis on a free. Tobido on loan from Nice is really going to make... Sorry, my cat's going mental. Is really going to make their defence a lot more solid. Ollie Watkins is going to have his work cut out there. So they have a really, really good squad, a good team. If we go into their squad here, I think we can go squad by positions, if I can do that for a second here. You can see they're very deep in every position. They've managed to keep hold of players like Lucas Paqueta, like you can see there, centre-backs. I think they're probably going to be going for maybe an Aguard and a Kilman to start the season, with maybe Tobido coming in a little bit later on. Left back, we're going to be seeing Emerson, and again that's going to be one that John McGinn's going to have to figure out, possibly Bailey later on in the game. Bissaka I think should probably come in and start straight away. DMs, probably Souček. Alvarez was really, really good last season. Ward-Prowse, we're going to have to worry about. Paqueta and Kudus playing in those attacking mid-roles. Again, this is why Tielemans and Onana are going to be so vital in this game. And then they've got the likes of Somerville, Cornet, Bowen. Playing in Falkirk is going to be really, really, really hard for Villa to negotiate, and that's why I've gone for a bit more of a defensive team, just to weather that storm in the first half, before then we can maybe press on in the second half. But I think West Ham are going to be pushing for top 6, maybe even top 4 this season. Their squad is so impressive. New manager, a big boost from that after playing sort of negative football under David Moyes. I think they're going to be a lot more expansive from what I've seen of this manager. So they're going to be a worry, and we're going to have to be worried about this game for the start of the season. But how do I think it's going to go? I say West Ham, very, very strong. Aston Villa should be worried, I think, going into this game, first game of the season. Then we have to go and play Arsenal at Villa Park. After this, it is away from home. Historically, last season, we were poor away from home, so that's something that we've got to think about as well. But we should be coming into this game confident. Look, we're the Champions League team here. West Ham finished mid-table. Yes, they've made very good signings. So have we. We have one of the best strikers in the Premier League in Ollie Watkins. We just need to neutralise that Falkirk threat. A key battle for me is going to be John McGinn and Jacob Ramsey getting back and doing their defensive duties. Somerville and Bowen are going to be absolutely cooking in this game, and if they can manage to feed Falkirk in the air, we could really, really be struggling, as well as the midfield battle. Obviously, they've got a great midfield. Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, Kudus could play in an attacking midfield role, and that's not even mentioning Lucas Paqueta, who's one of the best midfielders in the league. Defensively, again, I think they're really, really sound, and they've got a good goalkeeper in between in Alfonso. I can't remember his surname. I think it might be Alfonso, something like that. The French geezer they've got, he's good. Areola, when I roll with a geezer, that's the one. So we've really got to be careful in this game. I could see this game going as a draw. I really could, like a 1-1, a bit like when we played them last time. But then again, I think Villa need to come in and lay a statement after our poor pre-season. We need all of our players to be firing on all cylinders, and for that reason, because I'm a Villa fan, I'm going to go into the season with blind hope that we're going to do something special again. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Aston Villa win. I think West Ham are actually going to take the lead first, and we're going to have to regroup and get our heads around that. And then I think Ollie Watkins is going to get a goal just before half time, and then I think Leon Bailey is going to come off of the bench and be assisted by another player coming off the bench in Jadon Philogene, and we're going to snatch a late goal, maybe in the 80th minute, Leon Bailey, to win the game for Aston Villa 2-1, to make a dream start to the season. Comment your predictions down below. I can't wait to watch this game, and I can't wait for the season to start. I'm very, very optimistic. Don't let me down, Villa. Until next time, up the Villa, be nice to everyone, and I'll see you guys very soon.